Hi there, welcome back to my channel, Scrap and Coffee. I'm here with a brand new project. This is the Simple Life Folio, but please don't let that name fool you. Okay, it only took me 2.5 months, but my project is finished and I'm ready to share it with you. The Simple Life Folio. Nothing simple about this folio. It has quite a few fun elements, but I'm pretty sure you can make it. So I've made this folio with the Simple Life collection by Simple Stories. And I have it right here. So what did I use on this project? One 12 by 12. I have a couple of sheets left from this 12 by 12. I mainly used the 6 by 8 actually, but I've used it on the cover and also some places on the inside. And I've used 2 of the 6 by 8 paper packs. I've designed the folio to really be perfect for your uses of your 6 by 8 paper pads or your 8 by 8 paper collections. So I've used 2. The main reason that I've used 2 is because I was really drawn to certain patterns and color combinations, and because it's a folio and a lot of the layers interact with each other, and I wanted to create that cohesiveness. So that's why I've used 2 of the 6 by 8. Are you able to do this with one 12 by 12, one 6 by 8? Probably you are, if you are willing to use all the different patterns in here. And what I also did is I covered all my pages with pattern paper, and I've placed a photo on top. So if you are willing to make more designated areas for photos where you just put your photo instead of the pattern paper, you will definitely be fine with one 12 by 12 and one 6 by 8. Around that amount of paper, right? Depending on what type of collection you're using. So the measurements for the folio is, it's 8¼ inches high, the cover that is, and my outside cover is about 6 5/8 of an inch in width, and then my spine here is about 2 inches, and it will hold the way that I did it. It's a rough guess, I think about 60 photos, but again depending on how you do it, right? Everybody has their own way of going, so that might be different for other people. After I've went through the actual folio, I flipped through it, I will share with you what my approach is with the tutorial of this folio. So first let's just get into the actual project, right? I'm pretty excited about this one. So it's a little stiff because I've wrapped the spines. So I've wrapped my front cover with the check paper. Started here at the side, and I went all the way to the back, and on the other side I've wrapped it with the wood grain, and I didn't bother to do anything else there. So this is what it looks like. I have enough paper to fix that because I have quite some left. This image here with the flowers is from the 6 by 8 paper pad, and it's actually a framed image. I've cut off the frame and made a new frame with the wood grain. And I've added some of the butterflies that is in one of the ephemera packs of the collection. And then a little bit of color with the hearts and the enamel dots. And what I did with the hearts, it's really hard to see from far away, is that I've, with a black marker, I just did a little bit of a faux stitching on there to give it a little bit more definition. Okay, so when we open it up, the folio is actually happening here in the middle part. It's not exactly the middle, but in the middle section. And then I also have a little element here on the front inside cover. So what I made here is a sort of a belly band that you can use to put stuff behind it. Now I did a 7 by 5 photo mat, and on the back I did 2 smaller ones, 2 3.5 by 5. But you can go with a larger photo mat, add pattern paper, and then a photo on top. You can even make a booklet to fit behind there. There is space there, right? So you can play with what you want to put behind that belly band. And then we have a pocket with an acetate frame on top of that belly band. And I've made little pull tabs here on my photo mats, where at least on the photo mats that are in the acetate frames. So what I did is I've just got a piece of black that fits nicely in the pocket, so about 1/8 of an inch smaller than the actual pocket. And then I've put a photo mat. This is a 3.5 by 5 photo mat on top. So again, you can add pattern paper and then put your photo mat, but for me, once they are in the pocket, I don't really feel the need to take them out. So also this for me is more of a decorative element. So what I did is with a circle die, I've made circles with a stitched edge. I'm not sure if you can see that. And then I have a circle punch that is 1 inch and that fits exactly in that circle die. So I've added scraps of pattern paper with my circle punch on there on the front, and then I've added one of the butterflies here to make the decorative element. Now for this one, I wish I've put my circle a little bit further on the photo mat. So what I did is I've put glue on the back circle completely, glued it halfway on the back of my photo mat, and then attached the top half of the front circle onto that back circle. I hope that makes sense. So it's loose here behind the circle. That's not glued down, so I can slide that over my pocket. So I did that a couple of times in this project, you will see. So see, I wish I would have placed it a little bit further in here, but you can learn from my mistakes, right? Because I've made another mistake. I forgot my magnet here. It's not a really big problem, but I wish I had secured that with a magnet. Because we can open this up, and then we have a stack bucket here for more photos. I'm going to keep this one close by, full-size photo, and I can slide this out of the pocket here. And then I did 2 3x4 photos, but you can play with that, right? I didn't do anything on the back to make it a little easier to slide in here. It's a large pocket that sometimes ends up being a little bit of a tighter pocket, so that slides in there, and then you have opportunity to put more in that pocket if you want to. And also here on the actual pocket, I could place, for example, 3x3 or 3x4 photos. So some nice room for photos on that front inside cover. And then we go to the actual folio, right, where all the action is happening, although this is quite some action as well. So I start off with an acetate page. Now I didn't do anything with this acetate page. I started off with the idea of putting a photo mat on my page, and then I would probably have done one on the back as well to hide it and make it look nice. But I was liking what was happening behind it, that I didn't want to do anything with it. Now I might come back and do like maybe some photo corners out of pattern paper to define the corners here, to make it a little bit more obvious that the page is there. Yeah, I might come back for that, but I'm not sure. For now I'm just leaving it because I just like what's happening, and it's more of a design element and perhaps some protection here for this element. So yeah, I really like that. Then we come to my first page here, which I kind of love. This was the design that sparked the whole idea for the folio. So we have a flap here with a belly band. I did a 3x3 photo on here, quite some embellishing. In the beginning I went quite full on with all the embellishing in the album. And I did like a tag shaped, this can be a photo mat in an odd size or journaling opportunity, whatever you want it to be. And I can open this, and then again I have that same size. This is like a half 6x4, so this is a 3x6. So it's not a half, right? It's a little bit wider than half, but that's okay. And then 2 3x3 photos, some embellishments here. So we have that on the inside of this flap. Then I can also open it to this side. I have an acetate frame pocket here, and I have whatever you want to do here, space for a layout. I did a full-size photo with a little bit of an embellishment. So again here I have that odd size photo mat behind it, and a photo mat in the pocket with again the design element here for that pull tab. Now you can put a full-size photo behind here as well, and we can also open this up like this. And I really like that element, so I can open it up like this. I can open it up like this. It's fun. So if I have stuff behind here, I'm not limited to the width of my flap. You can add a full-size photo on either side. I will show you. So let me put this back for a second and show you what happens if there is stuff behind here. So now it's sticking out here on the side. On this side, you want to be slightly careful when you open it, but it will slide behind it. But you need to keep it in mind. And I have something hanging loose here that's now catching. So that's things that you want to keep in mind. But you are able to do that. you are able to do it like this. So, and the same thing will go if you put it on the other side. I can have it here. As you see, it's nice and tight. Everything will stay in place as long as it's in this shape. Once you pull it open, you see there is a little bit of room. So right now it's loose and I can take it out pretty easy. It can slide out. But as long as it's closed, everything is going to stay nicely in place. So again, you're not limited to the width of this flap here. And I really like this element that I've created there. So then on the back, we have a tag that I have made from the collection with journal opportunity on the back. On the flap here, we can add more photos if you want to. I most of the time won't do it on the outside of the flap. A little butterfly and some enamel dots there, but on the inside I definitely have room to place more photo opportunity if I want to. And then we have a stack pocket here with an acetate window at the bottom. And the largest photo that you can fit in the back pocket is a 7x5. So that's nice. There is quite some opportunity, and because I didn't put pattern paper all the way to the end, it catches on there. So something to think about. So I really love that element as well. Then here in this part we have the same element. If it looks the same at your first view as what we have here on the front inside cover, but it's slightly different because here on the front inside cover we slide something from top to bottom. Here we slide it from side to side. So again, I did a 7x5 photo there, but you can play with that. And I did the pull tab for the photo behind the acetate window, right? So slide that in there. So we can, I just put something behind here to show you, but there is room for more if you want to. Then on the back of that I have a side a stack pocket sideways with again an acetate frame, slightly different than the first one. So again here lots of room for photos. The biggest one again is a 7x5 that I have in there. I did some continuous matting with the pattern paper there, and let's keep that out for now. And then right here again in the middle we have an element that looks a lot like this one, slightly different. When I was making the project, I was planning on doing this one again right here, but then I came across a video of, and I hope I'm saying it right, a YouTube channel called Sandpaper Road, and she was doing a beginner series for a mini album. And the video that I came across is the video where she made an, I believe she called it an unusual trifold. I hope I remember it right. And it kind of remembered me of what I did on that first layer, but it was slightly different. It added an extra element. So I thought, hey, let's use that in this project. Let's see if we can elevate the element that we have on the first layer even a little bit more. Now in order to do that, I had to do the acetate pocket on the front. So as you can see, this time that acetate pocket is on the front. So again, I've made like the tag shaped photo mat journal spot there behind it, and I did my pull tab here with the butterfly. And then instead of, I can open it like this. Again, I have something behind the belly band. I have photo opportunities here and on my belly band there. So we can do it like that, but I can also do it, and I need to shove it over a little bit. I can pull on my flap here and pull it out. Now I will say that once after matting, that became a little bit more tricky to pull it out easily. So as you could see right now. So then we have like a trifold here. That's just a little bit different. You see, I need to work it a little bit to pull it out, but that's fine with me. So lots of photo opportunity here on the front. And again, here goes, you're not bound to the width of this flap. You can put full-size photos behind there and that will function just fine. And then on the back, we have this whole spread here. So see if I can get that in frame completely. So I've played with my pattern paper here a little bit, different sizes of photos, full size photo, that odd shaped size photo, which is, I believe is a 3x6 and two 3x4 photos. I didn't do anything here on purpose to reduce the bulk a little bit. So you can do that, but you can also take opportunity here to, instead of put pattern paper, is make designated areas for photos. That will work in several places in this project. So something to think about. So first I had photo here, but it was a little bit too bulky to my liking. So we have to think about that sort of stuff, right? So I did no photos there, just enjoy the pattern paper. So pretty full-on page here. It's a pretty heavy page. Also something to keep in mind when you choose your cardstock. And then here I have a really large acetate window. This image is the same image that I have on my front cover, so we can place all different kind of stuff in this pocket, whatever it is that you want to put in there, right? I will put all of this back later on. And then we come to the last part of the folio here in the middle section, which is going to be a waterfall. So again, I've used a little photo mat to keep my flap in place. So again, no magnet used. Little decoration there. And then we have our first flap here with, I did 2 3x4 photos. I have more in the pocket here, 3.5x5. It was a little bit of a shame that I lost some of this image behind my pocket there, right? But I was still fine with it. And then I can open that to the bottom. I have a full-size photo there. And then we have our flap. So what I did here is I've made an angled waterfall. And this was inspired by a project that I believe I saw it from one of the Graphic 45 brand ambassadors. I'm not 100% sure about it anymore, but I believe that's where I saw it with their new baby collection. And I really liked that. So I've figured out how to do it, and this is what happened. So here I did do the designated area for photos instead of pattern paper to reduce the bulk in the waterfall. So I've used full-size photos and 3x4 photos and then a strip of pattern paper, and I just kind of mixed that up throughout the waterfall. And I can change this out for a full-size photo, right? I'm not bound to that photo size. I've used temporarily glue, so I can remove this and replace it for a photo. I do that to show you a finished product, to show you what the bulk is in your project with photos. Yeah, so several reasons. So the bulk that you see here is basically with all photos, although there are spots where I can add more, right? So we go through the waterfall just like that. And then here with the pattern paper, I created a small belly band for some small photos, some small stuff, a little journal spot, whatever it is that I would like to place in there. And that is the whole folio. So when I'm closing this, I'm closing it where my top flap is still open. Then I've put that bottom flap on top, and I had a little photo in there, and then the flap over it, and use something to keep the flap in place there. And that is the whole folio. And I will say it's so much fun to make the elements in this folio. It's so much fun to play with your pattern paper in this folio. Although, like I told you, it's like different layers, they have to work together. It has to feel cohesive, right? So that's why I'm using a lot of the same patterns. But that's not for everybody. So you can do this however you want to do this, right? So how are we going to do it with this project? Oh, I damaged my butterfly there a little bit. Well, the good news is all the videos are ready to go. So they will be uploading to my YouTube channel on a regular schedule. Starting, I guess, somewhere in the beginning of next week. You can just watch the tutorials. I will share all my measurements for the construction in my tutorials. You can keep a notepad nearby and write down all the measurements and then work along if you have all the measurements ready, right? And if you like it the more convenient way and you would like to have a cutting guide that's completely done for you with all the measurements, you can go to my Etsy shop. I have a link down below of this video, and I will try to remember to put it on every video of the project. I have the cutting guide listed in my Etsy shop for a really small amount. I think if I would do my calculations, it would end up being less than $5 US dollars and less than €5, which is a good way of supporting me and my channel. But like I said, you don't have to. You can write down the measurements as well. So I'm sharing them. I have all the construction videos, and I have 2 decorating videos. In the beginning I started filming the decorating process. However, since I was so limited in my opportunities to make videos, I decided to stop filming the decorating, because if I would have continued with that, by the time that we were done, it would be Christmas. So decided to stop that. Yeah, I'm sorry for that, but there are 2 decorating videos in the beginning where I decorate the first layer and a part of the second layer. So I show you how I do my pattern paper on this part of the album, and also how I tackled this part here, and I believe this one. So that's on camera. The rest of it is not, unfortunately. So when I'm doing tutorials for the construction, you get all the measurements. For decorating, no, you always have to assume that it's not there, and if there is decorating in there, that's a bonus. That's basically how it works with my tutorials. So I really hope that you like this project and you are excited to make it. Like I said, the tutorials will be coming up. All the videos are done. They are coming in a regular schedule starting in the beginning of next week. And in the cutting guide, also I want to mention, there is a link to the playlist for easy access, and every time there's a new video uploaded, the playlist is updated and you will find the new videos added to that playlist. And I also have diagrams in there for this element and for this element, for the cutting, reference, because I'm sharing that in the tutorial, but sometimes it's easy to have a look at your own pace at where the measurements are exactly. So there are 2 diagrams for that in the cutting guide as well. So like I said, I really hope you enjoy this project. I'm pretty excited about this one. I hope you are too. Some fun elements, and yeah, I hope you will join me in the construction videos for this project. So for now, I want to say thank you for watching and enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.